Yes, hello everybody. At the stock market, when you look at the mistakes people make, they are always the same. I spoke with a lot of investors, with smart people, with billionaire investors, with Charlie Munger and Howard Marks, the value investor, and many others. And I spoke with very well known professors. They did science and but when you look at it, the mistakes people do is they're always, when you put them down in a box and summarize them, they're always the same. There's the one thing, the anxiety, overconfidence, euphoria. They buy when the market is all the way up. They sell when the market is down. You can summarize it in by people do the wrong thing. They buy high and sell low. What you can also say that when you look at it, when things change or people do too many changes, anyway, they trade too much. That's also one thing. And then when they change, they always do, not always, but most of the time, they sell the winners. They take the winners out, and they're happy that they have made a gain. But usually it's a good stock, so they sell the good ones, and they keep the bad ones. That's also one problem. And then the other thing is their emotions and their time horizon. They always look in the past. They look what happened today and they react on it. They don't, like the stock, I get always emails like, oh well, the oil stock is so much down, the oil price is so much down, and I'm so worried with my oil stock, and what should I do? What should I sell it? I'm so worried. And so they overreact and the anxiety comes in, and they always look at the event right now. They don't have the perspective for the long horizon. They can't look in front of them and think about what will happen in 10 years. Of course there is now a problem, but they're not able to. They get worried, they get anxious, and these are always the problems. And then they react too often. They trade in and trade out, they buy products, they underestimate the costs of trading, the costs of wrong timing, they underestimate the taxes, they underestimate the fees. So these are the mistakes people do. That's a huge problem. And also when it comes to saving, it's not just the investment behavior, it's also around the savings that there are a lot of mistakes done. The people don't have a plan, they underestimate how long they will live, how much they will need when they retire. You should really save up to 15%, maybe a little more of your income. You should do that constantly, and you should not waste time. You should start early and keep doing that pretty long as you can do. And you don't have to be too minimalistic or too crazy about saving. You can live a nice life, but you always should think about tomorrow when you will retire. Okay, you should have a plan when you invest, and you shouldn't get too emotional, and you should stick with a plan and don't change it always around. You shouldn't always sell your best stocks, and you shouldn't look at the moment right now. You should have a long-term perspective, and don't get too worried if oil goes down 50%. At some point, I'm sure things like that will recover at some point, because there's a simple thing. So for example, oil is down, the market's always, it's a pendulum. It goes up and down, extremes up, extremes down. And so now consumption, because the oil price is 50% lower, may go up a little bit. Companies do not invest so much anymore in oil drilling and oil finding. So at some point, it balances out at some point. So if they less produce, if they less find, if they less invest, the oil companies, there's at some point less oil on the market. If there's less oil on the market and the demand goes up because it was cheap or people need more energy, so there's a large demand and less oil, so it balances out. So the oil price will go up again. So what I want to say is, it doesn't matter with the oil, it's with many things. If you have a great company, there can be a crisis. A crisis gives you more an opportunity then a problem if the crisis is not long term. Okay, that's all for today.